Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to another Among Us Create a Sim. Today, as you can tell, it is one of the colors that is not initially in the game, therefore I did not have, like, the little custom content Among Us character to put over top of them. But, you know, I made do with what I could. But today, we are creating Silver. If you are not familiar with this series, this is, like, the 12th one, I think? Yeah, it's the 12th one. So there are 11 other characters that have already been created. There is a playlist down in the description below as well at the end of this video if you want to wait through the end. A little link that you could click to actually go and check out the playlist so you can go watch the other ones. But basically I took the 12 colors in Among Us plus 6 additional colors that were like sort of popular suggested colors in a way that were from like the same image. I didn't go like scouring for a bunch of colors because otherwise it would have ended up a whole lot of colors, but basically it ended up being a full total of 18 that are created. I've already created all of them. It's just editing them and posting them at this point. But I have made these characters, and I have actually made some of them keeping in mind of the crewmate imposter thing. So basically this series has like a little play-along game that you could sort of do with it to try to figure out who are imposters and who are not imposters. Doing like sort of trying to get it like a semi-realistic feel to how the game works. Usually you have about 10 like you can have up to 10 people in a party. Usually there's only 2 imposters with 10. So the fact that there is now 18, I decided to go with 4. So 4 of these characters are meant to be imposters, while the rest of them are crewmates. So you can sort of play along, try to figure out, and guess down in the comments below. Feel free to talk amongst anyone else who's also commented down below as well, if you would like, and sort of basically try to figure things out together. There is also a little like 20 to 30 second little video at the end that is a piece of the final video for this series that will actually reveal who the imposters actually are. I actually will also talk about, because I briefly talk about it in the beginning before just letting the video play, what actually you could have done to figure out who the imposters are, like what I did to make them step apart from the others. So if you're interested in also figuring out what were the clues to figuring out who the imposters were and were not, I will talk about it in that video. But anyway, now let's get back onto Silver here. So Silver, I will say with most of these characters, especially the fact that I use the wheel decide, which is something I usually mention at the beginning of all these videos, and I almost forgot. But yeah, I used the wheel decide to decide what order the colors were being created in. I also used the decide, like, what gender, and I used it to decide whether or not they were crewmate and imposter. So I had really no say on which colors I would have preferred to go more on the feminine or masculine side. My feminine characters have more options than my masculine just because of the CC. There's a lot more CC that fits on the more masculine, more CC that fits on the feminine. I was saying the reverse. And less for the masculine body types. But yeah, so anyway, if it was up to me, there are certain colors that I probably would have tried to done differently, but I liked the challenge, which is partially why I did it this way. But yeah, so going in most of these, I didn't have any sure idea because I literally spin the wheel right before I went in created each character. So it wasn't like I was like, let me write all these down and then I'll get to them as it was. I spin the wheels 3 times, went in to create a sim, created them, spin them again, created them. Except for, I think, for the last, like, so many, I actually just went ahead and wrote them all down. I will admit to those. Because I just wanted to stay and create a sim at a certain point. But yeah. So, with a lot of them, I didn't know where I was going with it. But I will say Silver is probably one of them that, throughout the whole entire thing, I was like, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this. And another thing that adds a little complex to it, which I think I mentioned it in Gray's, the fact that silver is like in between gray and white, and I was like, I gotta make sure that I keep those three distinguished from each other. Like I I don't want them looking the same, so I was trying to make sure to stick to more light grays because it's not easy to actually find like clothing that's like actual silver, like shining silver. And actually the little character that was, because I do actually have pictures that were created by someone, so trying to go off those, obviously they're actually not shining. The gold and the silver are not like a shining because the little Among Us character created was not, but I still tried to get some of that with gold and silver a little bit. That's why I did make sure to give him jewelry because of like silver and things like that. But I also, even like the pants, I picked pants that had like the silver change on them because it had like metal. I was just trying to go for a lighter gray, but also put in some actual like jewelry and things like that to get the silver shininess to them. And also with the hair, this hair I felt looked the most like silver without looking strange, because sometimes the thing with like silver and white hair on Sims who are young, you sometimes have to be careful with it. I have a few Sims actually that have, in my world we play with, I pretend like all colors are natural hair colors, so I have a few Sims that actually have white hair, but you have to be careful with them because some hairs just don't look right with plain white hair on them. It makes them look a lot older than they are. In the end, I really did like how he turned out, but I will say, and maybe like it's partially probably just me, but once I finished creating him, I was like, it's more of when he doesn't smile. When he's not smiling and he's just there with like a straight face, he semi reminds me of a character from Fire Emblem Three Houses named Adu. He's not quite as muscular on the upper half as the dude, but at the same time, the way his face sits and the way he is, like when he's not smiling, gives me some Dedu vibes. Like they're related. Like they're not exactly the same person, but they are related. Because Dedu has a similar skin tone. I think he's a little bit lighter than this guy actually, but still. And like the silverish hair that's short, and so I was just like, I didn't mean to go for that, but it went that way. But I do like how I did in the end like how he turned out, though I wasn't 100% sure which direction I was going through most of his creative sim. Eventually it started falling into place, and I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm liking this. I like this quite a bit. I hope that you like how he turned out. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know whether or not you think he is a crewmate or imposter, or if you're waiting for a little bit more clues here and there before you say for sure. Make sure you hit the lovely like button and do all that lovely YouTube goodiness and such. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!